All right, hey VC, I'm Jamie. Welcome back. We're back with another video. This time, recent acquisitions, recent vinyl pickups, and let's get to them and see what we got. So this is, again, it's all over the place. I do love the VC, the vinyl community. I love the videos. Try to watch as many as I can. The great thing is, watch the videos, get exposed to some new music or some new reissues. The bad news is that it costs me money because I see something and then I want to pick it up. Case in point, Steve Carlson posted this on one of his recent videos. This is a Marvin Gaye album called You're the Man. And this is kind of following almost the idea of what they've been doing with some of the Jimi Hendrix reissues or with the Hendrix catalog, kind of reimagining new albums. Case in point with this one. So this focuses on the year 1972. And this album, its intent was kind of to be the follow-up to Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On," and I recently picked up "What's Going On," a used vinyl copy, which of course is just a wonderful album, absolutely wonderful album, and this one, of course, on the nice old Tamla Motown label. So I recently picked up that, so I thought this would be such a nice companion to it. The single You're the Man had come out in 1972, but then Marvin Gaye wound up doing a duet album with Diana Ross and then also did the Trouble Man soundtrack. So this is, but he did record a lot of material at the time. Some of it saw the light of day later on, particularly the song Piece of Clay, which is an amazing track. I was first exposed to that on a Marvin Gaye CD box set, but that is such a great track. And so this is kind of a reimagined or an imagined LP as the follow-up to What's Going On, You're the Man. And You're the Man certainly follows that sort of political theme. The whole album doesn't, but it's a double album, and I have to agree with Steve Carlson. They probably should have made this just a single album. I probably would have left off some of the Christmas tracks that they included on this, like Christmas in the City and I Want to Come Home for Christmas. But having said that, it's a great listen overall. It's really, really enjoyable. So that's the hype sticker that came with it, simply on the Tamla label, black vinyl, but really enjoyable overall. I did pick up the CD as well, and it's a single CD. It's roughly about 69 minutes worth of music, so it fits onto a single disc. And again, all the information that's on the album is on the CD and vice versa, that sort of thing. So it's a nice, you don't feel like you're getting kind of ripped off or anything like that. And sometimes you've seen where they've had extra tracks on the CD and then pared the album down. So this they didn't. They included all of the music, but it does make this a double album that it maybe should have been issued as a single album. But overall, small quibble. So wonderful to have this Marvin Gaye, You're the Man. Really enjoyed it. Okay, here's a real curiosity. I picked this up. The rest is all pretty much used or previously enjoyed vinyl. The band Blackjack only released a couple of albums, but you may recognize some of the musicians. This is basically kind of hard rock style. The lead vocalist, Michael Bolton, when he was known as Michael Bolotin? Yeah, Michael Bolotin. And then Kiss fans will recognize Bruce Kulick, who went on to perform with Kiss. And I believe Bruce is part of the current lineup for Grand Funk Railroad. But this is, Michael Bolton before his crooning days or his AC R&B days. In terms of this hard rock band. And they only released a couple of albums. Interesting, produced by Tom Dowd. But fun packaging overall for this. And this is hard finish, long playing. So it looks like a deck of cards kind of things. Almost has that sort of 3D look, and then it actually does open up at the top like this. So it's sort of like fun packaging. And this came out in, I believe it was 1979. I think roughly it's got to be late 70s or early 80s. I think roughly 1979. But simply on Polydor, 1979. Okay, so Blackjack. I love it. Okay, and finally I was able to pick up some X albums. This is, of course, punk band X, More Fun in the New World. Great album. This was the last album that was produced by Ray Manzarek of The Doors, who produced a number of their albums. Great. This came out in 1983. Great 80s version of punk. Great band. I just have rarely seen this in the wild, if you will, at least around here. So I was able to pick up X, More Fun in the New World. That does include the sleeve, which is very nice, and on the Elektra label. And then was also able to pick up X Ain't Love Grand as well. And they do a cover of a Small Faces tune, All or Nothing, on here, which is pretty cool. And I don't know if this did include an insert or a sleeve or not. This one doesn't, but on the Elektra label. Okay, an unusual Canadian one that I picked up. Had never ever heard of this band, called Hot Rocks, and the album Rock and Roll's Gone Hollywood. This is kind of nice rock, blues rock. This is actually a great album. It's a real fun kind of party album, but I think they were from Ontario. Interesting. The old Restricted, this is how I remember the Restricted label. I don't know why when you see a movie, if it was restricted, they had to have this typical label. I think this was for Ontario, but it was always in the shape of a key, which I restricted only if you have the key to persons 18 years of age or over, admittance restricted. So this is kind of a slightly doctored picture with the band members here. As I say, I don't really recognize offhand any of the band members here. That's the track list here, but I think this might have been their only album, but nice blues rock overall. Yeah, really enjoyable. On Force One Records, so a small label as well. So there you have it. So some very interesting Canadian rock. And certainly another interesting band was able to pick this up, Automatic Man. They only did a couple of albums. This is their album Visitors. This is kind of prog rock, but it's really kind of all over the map. It's a very interesting listen. Good band overall, but really different, Automatic Man. And this came out, I think this is a 70s release, and this is on Island Records. Yeah, 1977 on Island Records. But overall quite enjoyable, but it's proggy, but it's not. So happy to finally pick up a copy of Tears for Fears, The Hurting. What a great album. First 3 tracks alone, The Hurting, Mad World, Pale Shelter. Great album. This does include the inner sleeve, which is nice. I don't know why the inner sleeves seem to be missing so often. I don't know what people, if they got damaged and people just throw them out or whatnot, but with the great label there, but okay. And just a great album, 1983, Tears for Fears. Okay, here are some odd ones. I never see this one. The Lovin' Spoonful, the soundtrack for Woody Allen's What's Up Tiger Lily. Gotta love this cover. I don't think I've ever seen that Woody Allen film. I've seen a number of his films, but I don't think for whatever reason, maybe I have, What's Up Tiger Lily. But Lovin' Spoonful doing the soundtrack to this one. And the first track features Woody Allen, and then the rest pretty much Lovin' Spoonful. No big hits that I can think of off this one, but a real curious find for this one on the Karma Sutra label. And these, I think, are American pressings for this one. And what's really cool is they do include original Karma Sutra sleeve on that one. And just love that label. So Lovin' Spoonful with Canada's Zal Yanofsky right there. Of course, John Sebastian right in the middle there. And picked up another Lovin' Spoonful, Everything Playing, featuring a very cartoonish cover, certainly. But this was after Zal Yanofsky left the band. And this features the big hit, She's Still a Mystery to Me, which is a great song. Again, this also, I believe, is an American pressing. And this is actually still in the shrink. But with the Karma Sutra label, or Kama Sutra, because I shouldn't be saying Karma Sutra, Kama Sutra label. And there you go. Okay, and another soundtrack, an unlikely soundtrack, is Hold On, starring Herman's Hermits. And this is, I believe, a Canadian pressing, because it's through MGM, but it's on Quality Records, so that would be a Canadian pressing. Now this features certainly some hits. We've got Must to Avoid, and Leaning on a Lamppost. Featured on this one. I think maybe Must to Avoid, the single, was a different version than this one, but not radically different. And this is a Canadian pressing on Quality. And one more from the oldies collection. We've got the Hollies, and this is the album Romany. And this is the first album post Alan Clark, and a very odd cover, but it matches the previous album that had the song Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress. But this is another Hypnosis album cover, but that's not a typical style for Hypnosis. Hypnosis, of course, did many of the Pink Floyd and 10cc album covers, but this was their first album post Alan Clark. Graham Nash had long left the band. Still has that Holly sound, but no big hits on this one at all. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for dropping by. Take care. Bye-bye.